Welcome or welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Chica, your conscious mentor, and today I'm going to be going over the Virgo new moon on August 27th, 2022, and what you need to know. In this energy update video, I will be pulling out some cards and I'll be channeling some messages to really understand what to expect. If there's any Virgo suns, rising, moons, or if you're an earth sign, let me know down below, as this moon may affect you a little bit more, but regardless, it's going to affect all of us. So get ready for this video. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss a video. I do these videos every single month for you beautiful souls, and I will be recording an energy meditation and healing for you lovely souls for this Virgo new moon. So make sure you subscribe, put notification bells so you know when that video is out. And I also want to share that I am opening my one-on-one mentoring. So if you are interested in joining me for one-on-one in September this fall, I do have it open for 5 beautiful souls. So you can DM me on Instagram or you can apply in the link down below. As well as my retreats. I just finished doing a goddess retreat here in Mancora, Peru. It was so powerful. Honestly, I don't even like even talking about it while it's in my eyes. The transformation that these beautiful goddesses embarked, it has no words, no explanation. They even look different. So if you are interested in tuning into healing shadow work with the medicine and healing and other workshops, as well as breath and meditation, please check out the retreats down below. I have one in St. Lucia in December, one in Costa Rica in October, and then I also have one in Canada in September. So just DM me on Instagram to have more information on that and to enroll, or you can email me through my website. Let's get into this Virgo new moon and what you need to know. So I'm currently in the bathroom of my Airbnb recording this video. The vibes in here is so beautiful. Honestly, I wanted to record it by the ocean, but it was really loud. Like, Yamanja is just clearing the energy right now for us as we end the season of summer, and the earth energy with these beautiful shells and rocks from the lands. I just felt called to record here. So we are currently in the shower recording this video. Why not? So this Virgo new moon, and just a reminder what new moons represent. New moons are new beginnings, new intentions. Full moons are manifestations and reflection. So with this new moon, we're all about new beginnings of how we look at ourselves in perfectionism through a lens, and we are changing the lens that we see ourselves in. We just finished Lionsgate, which you guys, a lot of you here are just following me because of Lionsgate. If you are new to the channel, welcome. So happy that you're here. And let me know down below with the rainbow emoji. This is really an opportunity for us to really tune into our own self-commitment. And this brings me to the first point about this Virgo new moon on August 27th, 2022, and what you need to know. Commitment of the infinite manifestations of Lionsgate. So I want you to go to your journal. I want you to look at the shadow prompts I gave you and all of the things we went into. If you want to go check out that video, the energy update is still there. I would actually recommend you going there to just remind your subconscious of what you are here to create, what you are here to commit to. And Virgo, this Virgo new moon is understanding that we can't be hard on ourselves, but we're also understanding the way that we were taught to be perfect as our younger self, as our teen self. So really thinking about the way that your parents were raised and the pressures that they put on you to be perfect, to be a certain way. So it could be a specific career, it could be a partnership that you had, your first partner, your first love as a young teen, and their reflection of the way that they see you, their commentary has affected your self-confidence and your commitment in your dreams and what you're creating. Lionsgate, we are connecting with the lion energy, which is all about power, abundance, stepping into our power. Then we have the Sirius star, which was one of the most powerful stars in the galaxy. And with this Virgo new moon, what this is telling us is that we have that direct channel, that we are the activators of our manifestations. We are co-creating with the universe. We act, the universe responds. So here it's like, how committed are you to your manifestations? Around the Virgo new moon, 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after, we are being tested on commitment. So for example, if you are creating your business, maybe you end up having a situation where there is, you know, a disagreement or something that happens in your business. This is just a test to make sure, are you still going to be committed? Because at the end of the day, one thing that was reminded with one of my sisters is that there is no difference with, you know, I hope you guys can hear me because there's construction happening outside. There's no difference with, you know, how you were at a lower frequency in your life and how you are now. And what I mean by that is there's always going to be things that we'll have to work around, you know, barriers, stresses, like for example, abundance. Even when you manifest that millions of dollars, thousands of dollars that you're manifesting and that lifestyle, there's still always going to be things that come up. It doesn't mean that all these things go away completely. It just means that you become more powerful of holding that space and being able to embody whatever comes through in your way. So really asking yourself that, how is your commitment going to be eternal to the lifestyle and the journey that you're creating? You know, every step that we create, every upgrade that we got, like Lionsgate, we got a full DNA collective activation. Because so many of us are committing to this work, we're all collectively getting that activation. And in that, Spirit is challenging us to make sure that we are ready to receive what is on the other end. So let's pull out a card on commitment and seeing what... There are a lot of cards coming out, so I'm just going to pull them out. Okay, so we have fates. So understanding that at the end of the day with commitment, that all that is meant to happen will happen. We can't avoid what is meant, right? We can't avoid that a relationship's gonna end. We can't avoid that we're gonna have to do healing. We can't avoid that we have to have that conversation with our parents saying that no, like that assertive no, to reclaim that boundary of, you know, how we can feel safe in ourselves in our journey. Fates is meant. Everything that has meant up to this point, even the times when we're at the lowest frequency, is meant to bring us to hold that space of what we're claiming in. Poise. So we're talking about the Virgos here. This is not a time to avoid being messy. So here we have 4-8. 8, abundance, infinity. 4 is awakening. So understanding that your perspective of what you need to be happy in your life is going to weave into a remembering of why you need to be committed to your manifestations. So for me to just break that down, you being abundant, tapping into those abundance frequencies are, you know, allowing you to claim that responsibility of the power that you are calling in from the universe, you know? So it's like we want all the things, but are you taking the responsibility of that? And we're not talking about perfection. We're not talking about making it perfect. We're not talking about not making mistakes. That's all part of the journey. If anything, they're lessons. But we're talking about, you know, how can we bring healing in poise and grace? How can we do this work in grace even when it's hard? How can we enjoy happiness even when we're feeling sad and we're grieving the old version of ourselves? These are the moments that allow us to be tested by Spirit. New life. This card has been coming up a lot of readings the past few months for you guys. The new life that you want to create is here. It's already there. But again, Spirit just wants to know that, is that fire from the Lionsgate still there? Are you still reminded of that? Chaos and conflict. This is so funny because I was reminding the girls about this in the Awaken Goddess retreat. Before we create the beautiful, amazing life we want, we have to have chaos. So things have to be chaotic in a sense that things will move around, right? Things are still moving around from the Lionsgate based on what you've claimed. Change is happening for a lot of us during this new moon in Virgo. So Virgo is telling us, how can we create new habits and intention to help us motivate to commit to those new territories of claiming, new manifestations, new ways that we see ourselves as more worthy. How can we tap into that more as opposed to being attached to what we were before the Lionsgate? The second thing that you need to know about this Virgo new moon on August 27, 2022 is perfection never existed. It was only part of the human trying to hold back. So when our parents tell us certain things, that's their way of projecting their shadow on you to hold you back because they're scared of the failure they had and they don't want that to happen to their child. Is that responsibility? Is that their responsibility? No. So this is where we have the power to create boundaries and know that that is theirs and this is mine. And I talk about this a lot in Ancestral Healing, my videos. So knowing that perfectionism never existed. Our human creates perfectionism to avoid the acceptance of parts of us that we are meant to learn how to accept in this lifetime, and still know that with those parts of us that we don't like looking at is going to help us and is actually going to be our biggest superpower. So for example, let's just give an example. If we feel like all of our friends and family are getting married, they have the great relationships, and you feel like you're in a divorce, you feel like you've been dating all the wounded masculine partners and not yourself, right? This is where perfectionism is going to test you and say, hey, this is part of the human experience and you've been avoiding a wound. How are you going to allow that to be your superpower? My battery just died. So we are back. Which worked out perfectly because there's more I want to share on that point. And really tuning into, what does perfectionism mean? It means making ourselves a depiction of what other people want us to be. A pressure from externally outside of our soul and our spirit to be a certain way. So in this new moon, it's about how can we detach from other people's judgment and to step into a remembering of why we're here and what peace, grace, happiness, and love is really what humans are here to experience through the moments and the memories that we hold in our life. That includes the memories and the moments that we hold with our family members, our loved ones. So really tuning into that and not holding yourself back because of other people. So you'll be tested 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, when people are going to ask you for their needs before yours. And you're going to have to create a boundary and say a definite no, holding your ground and saying, no, it doesn't align with me. So this is going to be a big test for a lot of you that grew up not being able to say no. Maybe a moment or an experience or a trauma that you felt uncomfortable to say no. And a test for you to be more assertive, to hold that space for all that you claimed for the Lion's Gate. This brings me to the third thing you need to know about this Virgo new moon on August 27, 2022. Let chaos arise. Stop controlling what is trying to realign, making way for new intentions and energy. A lot of the times when things leave our life, we don't allow ourselves to miss it. How about missing your old soul? How about missing the parts of you that have shed? And why it's so important for us to have that missing emotion. But a lot of us are taught to numb that missing emotion, or in a lot of our culture, especially the Western culture, that missing is wrong and that we need to just get over it. But really what here it's talking about is, why don't we miss and grieve? So allowing yourself to still grieve while being excited for the new beginnings that are going to happen. To allow all emotions to come through. So for example, if you're a person that has a hard time sitting with anger, I invite you during this Virgo new moon to sit with it and saying, how can I feel more embodied to transmute that anger into a way that can help me embrace the way that people think I should be always happy and always in alignment because of the pressures of my family members and people at work and others outside of myself. So this Virgo new moon is about understanding a new relationship of allowing the inner wildness to come through without feeling like you have to suppress that version of yourself. And I'm feeling a card that wants to pull out. So let's pull out a card on chaos and controlling. How can we, as soon as I said that, loyal heart. So I'm going to just share this because this is coming out so strongly, is how do we control the way that we want our partners to show up in our life? So all those who are seeing someone currently, maybe you just started dating someone, maybe you have a twin flame, maybe you're in a committed relationship for a while. We put so much pressure on the ways they need to show commitment when we need to know that the moment that we start committing and focusing on ourselves and our healing and what we want, they're going to come along. And if they don't come along, well, maybe that was the lesson of why they had to be in your life. Maybe that was the lesson that you were chasing perfectionism to be a certain way in this relationship, and it was really not in alignment of yourself, right? Because maybe, as an example, you've been dating the wounded masculine, right? And that's what you feel is you. But when we can detach from that and decide to say, I have that wounded masculine myself, let me work on my wounded masculine, let me work within myself, what that's going to do is going to pave the way for change. Chaos is going to happen, but after chaos is change and new beginnings. So really being intentional with this new energy, being intentional with, how do I want to realign myself? And in doing that, trusting that everything around me that I have been putting pressure on to show up in and to be like can all of a sudden dissolve out of my field. So here it's really understanding that chaos, there's beauty in chaos. How can I look at beauty in times of transition in my life? And that's what's happening. With August going into the Lion's Gate, but then we also had the Aquarius, which was all about standing in our power, justice, tuning into, the crazy loud vocal judgment outside of us as a collective, being tired of old systems, wanting new systems, wanting a new earth. And then this is an earth sign. So it's all kind of all flowing together. They're all connected. And it also brings me to the shadow work prompt, which I would really highly suggest you writing down for this new moon in Virgo, is what was forced when you were growing up. So what ways were you forced to show up as your younger self, as your teen self? It could be a teacher, it could be a parent, it could be some adult, it could be even your siblings. And what ways have those pressures made you feel unsafe, or maybe made you feel constantly in your masculine, as opposed to stepping into that space of a healthy masculine where the feminine dreams. So your feminine energy is the dreamer, it's the manifestation, it's what causes manifestation to occur, it's the creation. And then the Virgo is using the healthy masculine to then allow, once you get that sign from spirit, which will happen after the Virgo new moon, then you can tune in and create a plan. But here it's all about realignment, and it's all about creating a blender. We're putting everything in a blender right now. All the new manifestations you created, the new habits, the shadow work you've been doing all this summer, and we're blending it all together and we're making a new smoothie. That's the analogy that I see when I'm talking to you with spirit. So looking at those ways that you've been forced and how you've been putting those pressures on yourself. How can I be more gentle? How can I be more affirmative with my no? Including the no of that self-sabotaging voice that comes up in my mind. And I'm going to bring out an ancestral card, because that's coming out for me here, of being forced to perfectionism and growing out from that habit. Let's see what card comes out. We have two cards. We have the Sun, enjoy happiness. So maybe here it's really asking you, because you were forced to be a certain way, that your soul and your spirit wasn't able to enjoy the happiness of being a child and playful. So this Virgo new moon is challenging you to be more playful and more spontaneous with yourself. Tuning into how can I still commit to my manifestations while being playful with it and not always taking it so seriously, giving myself a break to be happy in spaces of change. And then we have the Shaolin Master, which is graceful in movement and action. How can I be graceful in chaos? How can I be graceful when I don't know all of the answers of what is to come? A lot of us are in a pivotal point right now where we don't know how things will go out and turn out, the action plan of it. But what we do know is what we want. And that's what the Virgo new moon is about. It's about creating and just trying new things away from what we have been taught and what we lived in our household. And through that, finding out what commitment looks like for us. So commitment to you, for example, starting a business can be simply just like writing down what type of person that you want to have in your business, that you want to serve as a space holder and healer. Commitment in a relationship can be, having conversation and saying, let's work on myself, I'm going to work on myself on emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? How can I work on shadow work with emotional intelligence? And again, if you're interested in learning that, that's also something I teach in my one-on-ones. You can apply for that. Just message me down below if you feel called to and feel connected to my energy. The last thing you need to know about this Virgo new moon on August 27, 2022 is know who you are. Know who I am, not where I am wanting to be, and how is these setbacks and this training that Spirit's giving me is, bringing you to your calling. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes when things don't work the first time, the second time we give up, right? We put so much pressure that things have to work right away. And what this Virgo new moon is saying that, these are just lessons to help us, because again, this brings me back to that beautiful medicine that I shared before. There's always going to be, pardon my French, crap that's going to be in our life, right? There's always going to be something, whether it's abundance, whether it's a relationship disagreement, whether it's anything. What Virgo new moon is teaching us is how can we just laugh, be in happiness, be in grace with those things, and just welcome them with full hands, and seeing that, this is all training us. This is training our soul and our spirit for our soul lessons. And again, if you are interested in learning more about your soul lessons, check out your Chiron, because your Chiron goes into what are your soul lessons in this lifetime for you to learn and tap into. So know where you're at and be really, understanding that as humans, we are just training. We are learning, and we put so much pressure, and so do our family members and friends put so much pressure based on their experiences. But how much of that do we take home and make that our story? It's only our story if we allow that first boyfriend and the way that they treated us to be our truth. It's only our story if we allow that first person who says that they don't want to work with you in your business to be in your truth, and say, okay, because this person doesn't want to work with me, no one's going to work with me, no one's going to want to be held by me, right? It's only your truth if you decide that, for you, being healthy and in wellness could be just learning how to cook one vegan meal a day that's going to make you get interested in learning about what foods you want to put in your vessel, and being hard on yourself if you have a cup of cake or a cupcake or a slice of cake, right? So Virgo is all about understanding the difference between commitment and perfectionism, because we tend to interchange those things. Commitment is showing up every day for ourselves, even on the days where we feel the grief, when we feel the happiness, when we feel the excitement, when we feel all the emotions. But then perfectionism is taking all of the commentary outside of ourselves, the experiences, the good and the bad, and making ourselves be that definition, when it actually should be just lessons for us to strengthen our soul and to remind us why we're here. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this really deep, powerful space here in this sacred bathroom that we're channeling this video in. I have 3 cards that came out for you for affirmations. Death. This card came out last time. I am learning that endings are merely new beginnings. Knowing that all of us are in a death stage right now, and that is okay. Next we have is happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. I am aware that being happy means I am on the right path. And the last card we have is Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. It's not mine to take home, but I understand it, I appreciate it, I see it, and I take it as a lesson in whatever way that I feel like resonates for me. But I'm not taking that judgment and making that my truth. So my battery just died. So I'm gonna end this video on my phone, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Totally forgot to charge it. I usually always charge it before, but again, the lesson of this Virgo new moon, perfectionism, we just laugh and things happen. So let me know down below what resonated for you in this video. And also let me know how you're feeling for this Virgo new moon, remembering that this will affect us 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. So just be mindful of this new moon week. And I will have a meditation energy healing posted for you guys really soon. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells, and share with your friends. And also, if you feel called to go deeper in your healing, you can apply for my one-on-ones down below. I have 5 spots available. And my retreats, which I'm so grateful for, the magic, the medicine that has happened in the recent one I just finished. And I cannot wait to host the one in Costa Rica and St. Lucia. So if you'd love more information on that or would like to sign up, just message me on Instagram, or you can email me through my website. I know some of you don't have Instagram or social media. Just email me through there and then we can connect and start the process for you to come. It's gonna be really powerful medicine. We're gonna be doing healing breath work, workshops. The Costa Rica one, we're going over how to create your business as a space holder. What is your archetype as a space holder? The one in St. Lucia is gonna be ancestral healing. It's gonna be so powerful, so mystical. So I hope you have a beautiful Virgo new moon, and I will see you guys in the next video.